It is 9:04 on this beautiful, freaky, funky, fantastic, phenomenal, fresh Friday. I think one of those words did definitely not start with an F, but It works, right? I can't even pronounce words correctly, so we're just going to go ahead and continue to butcher it. What's up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back. We're going to dive right into it, guys. We got about 5 minutes to make up here. You know, Kevin was just talking way too much in the Zoom this morning, so we can just blame it on him. But yeah, we're going to dive right into it. We're not going to waste any time. We got a lot to discuss today. And I'm pretty sure you guys will have some stocks you want to look at as well. So before we do dive into it, hit me with a big ol' good morning inside of chat. Just type it up and hit the enter button. But if you guys are in the Zoom and you feel up to it and you want to scream a big ol' good morning, now's your chance. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Good morning.
Ooh, that was weak.
Sorry, man. I can't scream. I got people looking at me over here.
Really?
Good morning.
I'm pretty sure I got a lot of people looking at me right now. There we go.
That's true. All right, I'll do better.
I love you, Kevin.
Thank
You're good. That was a wonderful good morning, and you're the first one to do it. I respect it. What's up, everybody else? Patrick, Steve, Catherine, OG. What's up, Catherine? Happy to see you back a little bit more now. Spencer, what's up? Derek, Chelsea, and everybody else. Once again, good morning. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about what we got going on so we can end the week strong and profitable. Let's do it. So, look at the economic calendar. We have nothing else going on today. I mean, I lied. We do. We have Fed Waller speaking at 11 o'clock, but we'll be wrapping things up at 11 o'clock today. So, again, we're pretty much in the clear from 9:30 until 11. So, nothing too concerning. Go right to the SPY. We'll talk about what we got going on and break everything down and get you guys prepared. Nothing looks good on the SPY. Nothing looks good on the Qs. We're all set, guys. All right. Any questions? Nah, I'm kidding. But in all seriousness, I'm not a fan of where the SPY and the Qs are at. So, like, I already foresee me kind of being super duper patient right when the market opens and really just trying to get a sense of how the market's moving, price action, direction, and just kind of start to validate some of these levels that I have before I look to take any trades off them, because I'm just not crazy about them. I'm not crazy with where we're at right now. And that's okay. Not every day am I going to love the opportunity like I have the last 3 days. So today's going to be a little bit more patient. We'll go ahead and break down what we have, the key areas that you should be focused on today, and we'll just let the market open and we'll go from there. If we see any really nice opportunities setting up, we'll jump on them. All right, so let's go to the daily and let's just go ahead and mark up these zones together. All right, so number one, mark up that big old daily gap on the SPY. I'm still going from wick to wick here. So bottom end of the gap is at 544.94. Top end of the gap is at 548.92. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark up this region with a zone, right? You could look at it as, you know, the top end of the gap because it's off that candle body from August 15th. But I'm going to create a little zone based on that gap up open, Tuesday's low of day, Wednesday's low of day, and then our close from yesterday. So that's going to give us a nice little zone here between 549.48 to 549.59. And then your next area of resistance will be back up against Wednesday's close as well as yesterday's open. That'll put you up around 550.90 to 550.97. All right, so those are like the three most valid, most significant levels that I want to be paying attention to today. Now, if we break that top zone that we just discussed, where could we go? Well, we'll just start looking at yesterday's high a day. We'll be looking at Wednesday's high a day, and then that daily zone of resistance that we analyzed here on like Tuesday or Wednesday. That next key level of resistance overhead is up between like 554.73, like 555.07. All right. But let's go ahead and drill this down to a 5 minute. Let's go ahead and start building some what if plans, some what ifs. So it really comes down to this this zone here between 549.48 to 549.59. That's a key level that I'm watching today. That's going to be my make or break. I'm going to label that the line in the sand. Okay, so if we see the SPY holding above that level, right, and we see opportunity to get long, I would think about getting long up into that next area of resistance between 550.90 to 550.97. Right, first target. If we break through that level, right, and hold it, from there, I'll just be targeting yesterday's highs and then Wednesday's highs as our next profit targets before we get up into that daily zone, right? And that daily zone is up between that 554.73 to 555.07. So I really just want to watch, how price is moving and developing off that line in the sand between 549.48 to 549.59. We're holding above it as really nice support. We see an opportunity setting up. I'll take it long up to the 551 zone, yesterday's highs, Wednesday's highs, and then that daily zone of resistance. But if we see the SPY getting back below that key zone, staying below it as resistance, and then getting inside of this daily gap and holding the top end of the daily gap as resistance, and we see something like this, you best believe I'm looking to get short today. Where to? The bottom end of the daily gap, which is at 544.98. So that's going to be game plan number 2, is if we fail to hold the line in the sand, we see it hold as resistance, we get a crack and retest inside of that daily gap. That's the area where I would start to think about getting short for that next leg down to that 544.94 level, right? But again, if we're setting up with a long above that line in the sand level, I'm simply looking to get long into those targets we just discussed. All right, so that is the plan for today with the SPY. It's very, very simple day, right? Just looking to see what the SPY is going to do, if anything, off that 549.48 to 549.59 zone of support. Moving on to the Qs. Let's go to the daily. Let's mark up all of these zones that we have. Go down to a 5-minute, build some plans, right? So, first area to the downside you guys should have marked up is that daily gap between 454.44 to 455.75. That is your lower daily gap. Then I want to go ahead and mark up this region here with a zone between 458.41 to 458.93. It's this low of day that we had right here, right? It's also going to be Wednesday's open. It was also yesterday's open as well, near low of day. So when I look at this zone here off of the candle opens the previous 2 days, and I drill down into a 5-minute time frame, like I see good price action off that level. I see better action off that level compared to marking up a zone off the last 2 lows of day. So that's why I'm going with candle body, creating a zone off these 2 previous opens, and it lines up with that candle low of day as well, simply because I see prices respecting it a lot better here in pre-market. All right, so that's going to be the first area that I want to keep on watch here on Q, is going to be that zone right here between 458.41 to 458.93. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark up Wednesday's close and yesterday's close as well with the zone. And that gives me a zone here between 460.62 to 461.06. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark up Wednesday's high a day and Thursday's high a day with a zone as well. That's between 464.45 to 465.36. Those are the main areas that I really want to keep on watch here today, right? And so far, we are respecting every single level. We held the top end of the gap. We broke and held that first daily zone. Now we're pushing into that second daily zone we just discussed, and we're holding below it as resistance. So, I mean, we're respecting those daily zones beautifully here in pre-market session, right? So, with that being said, let's build some plans, guys. Let's build a couple plans. Let's make this our line in the sand right here. Because if we break that level, where could we go? Right on up into Wednesday's and yesterday's high day next. If we fail to break that level, where could we go? Back down into this zone of support. And if we ever fall below that zone, right, we could get back down into that lower gap level. So game plan number 1 is going to be if we fail to break the line in the sand between 460.62 to 461.06. If we see a short setting up off that level, I would entertain a short back down into this zone of support. And then if we crack below that zone, right, take it short down into that lower gap level. That'll be game plan number One, I don't think it's going to set up to the short side, though. I think we move higher today, personally. It's not bias. That's just my expectations. But again, I want to look at, both sides of the market, long and short, just to remove bias. So I got my short plan ready to rock and roll with. And let's build a long plan. If we break that level of resistance and pull back and hold it as support, I'd simply look to get long. So again, same thing that happened here. We broke a key level of resistance, held it as support, moved to our next zone. Easy peasy. Trade from zone to zone. So if we break this top zone of resistance, hold it as support, I would look to get long where? Into our next daily zone of resistance, which is up between 464.45 to 465.36. They're on QQQ. And so those are the two plans for today. All right. Moving on to Tesla. I think we got some opportunity with Tesla today. Look at the daily. We got this big old daily gap here on Tesla. Bottom end of the daily gap is at 234.80. Top end of the daily gap is at 245.47. We know how to trade the gap. Pretty simple. Let the stock break inside of the gap. Number one. Number two, let it pull back and hold the bottom end of the gap as intraday support. That's number two. If you see that taking place, you get long up to the top end of the gap, which is at 245.47. Right? Looking for a simple gap fill long opportunity today here with Tesla. Okay? And then lastly, maybe Meta. No, not Meta now. I was watching Meta off of that daily downtrend, off of that 20 EMA, off of that pretty strong, tough level of resistance. But here this morning, we're going to be gapping above all of that resistance. If we were below all that resistance, I was going to look to get short down the 506 on Meta. But we're pushing above all that resistance. That's going to kill my trade plan. So Meta coming off the watch list here. So really, I'm just watching Tesla. I think Tesla is going to be the trade of the day for the potential gap fill long. And who knows? Maybe it sets up short. Like, what if it tries to break inside the gap and it comes back below the bottom end and retests it as resistance? We could look to get short off the bottom end of the gap. I mean, look at Tesla yesterday. Ran up to the bottom end of the gap. We didn't break above it. We dumped hard. So if we see a short setup off that 234.80, I would entertain a short back into yesterday's close to maybe fill this gap from the gap up today. So I would entertain a short there on Tesla as well, depending on what sets up off that 234.80. All right, one long idea, one short idea. But I like Tesla. I think that's going to be the trade of the day. QQQ, I like Qs more than the SPY. So with the Qs, it comes down to that 460.62 to 461.06 level. That's our make or break. Let's just see what sets up off that zone. In the SPY, you guys are all set, ready to rock here as well. Again, just not a fan of the SPY. I like the Qs a lot better than the SPY. That's been a trend for the past week and a half. And then I like Tesla a lot more than the SPY and the Qs as well. And I think Tesla could be the stock of the day, the trade of the day. So let's keep all eyes on Tesla. Okay. Is there anything else? Stir, what's up, brother? I saw the hand go up.
I was trying to hit the 100 emoji. I hit the hand emoji instead. I agree with Tesla. I think there's gap fill long potential today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to put most of my focus here on Tesla for sure. And then the Qs. I like the Qs off that zone. We'll see what happens. But the SPY, I'm going to tread lightly with the SPY today. Just not a fan of where we're at, where these key zones are. Just, again, not a fan. So anything else you guys want to look at? Anything else on your watch list today? Let's take a look at it. Let's build some plans. Let's get you guys prepared. Maybe we got some ticker reviews over on YouTube. John G, what's up, buddy? Good morning.
Catherine's looking to invest in Harley Davidson, it seems.
Oh, yeah?
HD. About to get yelled at in chat.
You?
Yeah, I'm
Why?
trying to talk her into letting her kid get a bike.
Anything in mastery? Nothing there. You sure you guys aren't looking at anything else? That's surprising. I know most of us trade SPY and Qs anyway. I get it, but no one's looking at Apple, Meta, Nvidia, nothing else that's standing out to you? More than happy to review it, guys. We got about 10 minutes till market open here.
Josh, we were almost spot on with our levels on SPY today. I think yours was a little bit tighter than mine, though.
Yeah? So you feeling pretty good with the zones that you found?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I love it. So yeah, man, and then the biggest thing to build a lot of confidence and conviction is don't remove those zones until like the next day or the end of the day, but review the stock and look and see how it moved off those zones at the end of the day. And if you start to see there's a discrepancy in some of your zones where it maybe came up 20 cents above it and then, you saw a reaction, just go back to the daily and see if you can justify where that zone should have been. And if you can make that fine-tune adjustment and it makes sense, great, you're learning. If not, you're still very confident in the zones that you've identified and you see how the stock is moving beautifully, again, from zone to zone. So that's going to really help you bridge that gap, be really, really confident to start taking some trades off those zones when you see the stock get there. But that's awesome,
Yes,
man. That's always step one, man. Dial in the zones, man. Dial in the zones, and we'll go from there. Do we have any news or data after 9:30? 11 o'clock today, we have Fed Waller speaking. So that's about it. You're looking at Mara. Let's go take a look at Mara. M-A-R-A. We already know that we're always going to be looking at the overall crypto market, specifically Bitcoin, when we're looking at stocks like MARA, Riot, Hive, a lot of those crypto-related stocks. So when we look at Bitcoin, again, we've just been kind of chopping to the downside here recently. And you look at MARA, again, same thing, really just been moving to the downside. We don't really see a lot of big-time movement with those crypto stocks unless there's a catalyst, number one. They report good earnings for some reason. Maybe there's some movement, but most of the time, 90% of the time, Mara, Hive, and these crypto-related stocks are moving in sympathy to the movement of Bitcoin when Bitcoin's moving. So MARA right now, we're seeing a decent little push on up here this morning in pre-market. Do we have any news or anything like that with MARA? I don't really see any news at first glance. I'm curious if there is any news. Let's go check and see. Curious to see if there's any news today. No, 9 days ago when JP Morgan cut their target price. I mean, that's about it. Again, we look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has just been, again, just grinding itself on down here recently. We are coming into some like lower levels of support on BTC to where we may hold and see a nice little push and see Bitcoin get some action. I don't think that's going to happen until really the end of the year. Personally, I think Q4, again, some investors risk on trade. I think that's when we start to see Bitcoin and some crypto start to move. Maybe when we get into like October, end of the year. And that's when we can see some sympathy movement with those crypto related stocks. But if we're just going to analyze Mara straight up, which we can, let's get an idea of what we could see. All right, you could have some resistance up around, 1492 to 1511 on MARA. And if we're just looking at the daily, we're going left, looking left. I would say we can just mark up all of these prior daily lows right through this region here. Between like 1407 to 1424, gap up low, came back down, held to the support, came down, tapped it, held to the support. We gapped down below that zone this day due to earnings. We ripped right back above it. Yesterday we closed below that zone, but here in pre-market, we're starting to try to push back above it, and that's a pretty solid daily zone if you ask me. I mean, we can tighten it up a little bit better. But, it's like 1407 to 1422 is a nice daily area of support that we may be able to regain today, right, and push off of it. So that's what I would probably like to see on something like Mara for like a day trade, would be regaining that daily zone as intraday support, seeing MARA hold above that daily zone as intraday support, and then, hey, look to get long into your next level of resistance, which will be back into these previous lows, which also lines up with yesterday's high a day. So that would be kind of where my head would be with MARA and what I would be looking to do. If I was looking to maybe day trade this for some like day trade opportunities, just go from zone to zone. Let it break fully this lower zone between 1407 and 1422. Let it have a proper retest off that zone as intraday support. And if so, play it long into your next zone up between 1492 and 1511 for a quick little day trade. But again, I don't really think we're going to see a lot of big time movement and a lot of big time action with those crypto related stocks until we see Bitcoin really start to pick on back up. And I think that's going to happen towards the end of the year. So I do think we'll have some opportunity in the crypto space, as well as with some of these, Bitcoin ETFs and some of these crypto related stocks coming into the end of the year as well. That's kind of what we saw last year too. Remember in October, I was getting long on a lot of those crypto related stocks, some longer dated options. And within like a 45-day window, they all exploded, right? 1,000% on Mara, like 600% on Riot. Again, we saw Bitcoin really pick on up towards the end of last year. And again, I think as the Fed starts cutting rates, Tom's addressed this a few times, we start to see that risk on trade. That's when we start to see money move back into the crypto space. Q4 this year, I think that's realistic. We start to see Bitcoin and some of those cryptos gain some attention, move on back up. And then I think we're going to see some sympathy with some of those well-known names. Mara, Riot, maybe some of those Bitcoin ETFs as well. Cole, I love your mindset, dude. I love the discipline. It's like, I don't know how I missed my alarm, woke up late, just gonna get in some screen time, do the routine, get in some lessons, but not trade. Dude, that's amazing, amazing discipline. Because like me as a newer trader back in the day, I'd wake up at like 9, get in the market 9:30 and blow up an account. I had no discipline. So the fact that you could recognize today's not a day to trade, that's awesome, dude.
Cole's the next goat in the making, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, he is. He is the next goat in the making for sure. I see it. Catherine's going to be OG number 2 here very, very soon.
Working on it.
You're there. You're getting there. You're really freaking close. I know when you guys are close, and you're super duper close. You were the same exact way before the program. You just come in and just start taking trades and blow up account. Yeah, man, this program is pretty unique. I will tell you that, man. I will tell you that, because the last thing you want to do is have to come to me one of those days and be like, yeah, I blew up my account, and you have to have that conversation with me. That'll be a tough one. That's a pretty embarrassing conversation to have. So yeah, I might as well not even get into the market in the first place. Love the mindset, dude. Absolutely love where your head is. Today's still going to be a good day, even though we're not trading. Well, you're not trading. Still gonna be a good day, man. You're gonna learn a lot. You can repurpose that time, get into the course material. Like you said, just get in some screen time, man.
There's downtime. I could use y'all's help, chat.
What's up?
Take on nothing but a emoji. Y'all see the 2 charts that I've just posted. I need to know, gray or rainbow? Y'all could just like react with the emoji there and help me make up my mind. Because obviously the colors are definitely prettier, but I can see the overlapping zones with the gray. The issue I'm having is the colors. It takes me about 8 to 10 minutes to do TA on a chart.
I like gray. I like neutral.
With the gray, I can knock it out in like 2 to 3 minutes. And I can adjust that gray or make it a different color or something.
Yeah.
Whoever made the thumbs up, that's not helpful. I expected that to be Steve.
That was Andy.
I really expected that to be Steve.
I gave you a thumbs up too. No, I like the gray personally. I think it's easier. It's cleaner. I personally like the neutral colors as well. And then certain areas, if I want to highlight a certain color because it's significant, I can in that one area stand out. But everything else is pretty neutral.
Can
right,
you
Mark, it'll be
save
open in the next couple
a
seconds,
supply
guys.
box and a demand box?
Not on
So that
Thinker's
the
Crown,
are you, are
right?
you
Stupid.
sure about
All right, let's
that?
go get some hedgies, guys.
Thanks for the kiss, Tom. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it a kiss.
You know what I mean by that, right?
What?
Mwah.
Keep it
Keep
simple,
it simple,
stupid.
stupid.
Oh,
Kiss.
yeah.
Yep. Just keep it simple.
If I could save the boxes, and I've hit up TOS basically every day with a new support request asking if they could add that to the thing.
You can save the box colors as a template and then just reuse it, can't you not?
I can only save one or the other.
You can't save two?
No,
Oh,
I can only save one or the other. So I make it red, and then I do all the supply, and then I click edit, and I click save as default, and change it to green, and it's just an extra step
I gotcha.
that I don't want to deal with.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're right.
You don't
Once
have it
change
just
the
save
default,
as?
it's that one.
No,
default.
it'll save as whatever the last color is I select.
You're right. All right, QQQ hedges. We got QQQ hedges. You got a 461 weekly, guys. Right off that line in the sand, too. So high watch 461. You're on QQQ. You got that line in the sand as well as weekly hedge, guys. Then you got a 457.50. What? 457.50 monthly. 457.50 is your monthly for today on QQQ. Like that. Let's go grab the SPY. You might see a nice drop right off that 461 here. The Qs. Keep that on high watch. 550.50 weekly on the SPY. So you're a little bit above weekly hedge on the SPY. That's at 550.50. And guess where monthly is? Still at
537.
Yeah, 537.50. Hasn't budged.
If that isn't telegraphing, I don't know what else is.
It's not telegraphed that the SPY's coming down into the mid 530s. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And that's funny because 537.50 is right up against the daily 50%.
Yep.
I just want it to pop a little higher so we can get to those puts for a swing and be nice and cheap.
Yes, absolutely. Go a couple weeks out. Yep, I like that. Maybe
Boy,
next week we're back up at that 555 Zaz level.
Yep. Boy, Tesla didn't like the bottom of that gap.
It just reject hard.
Oh, it didn't even get there. It got close.
Oh, it just got close and then
Still had a little of that supply left to fill.
Said bye-bye.
Q's pumping.
Well, we all said Tesla's going to be the best one of the day, and Tesla just said, we're not going to do nothing for you. Everybody's so mad on TikTok. I mute the stream now. Right at 9.
Yeah, no, H texted me and said, hey, tell Josh he's muted on TikTok. I said he did that for you.
I did.
Good morning, guys.
What's up, Matt?
Oh, the wedges are going to be here today. I'll see you guys Monday.
What's up, it's happy Friday.
What's up, dude?
Wedges galore.
Well, quick little, nothing, no big deal. Just about a $2 drop there on the Qs right off our line in the sand. Right off weekly hedge of 461. Little double confirmation there. You could have taken it if you guys were dialed in. I mean, we were sitting right off the line in the sand, and then boom, you had hedge pressure chilling there as well. You would have had to been pretty quick to take it, but would have been an okay trade. Stops over pre-market high. I like it.
Josh, you picked both choices. You suck.
I did. No, I say Gray.
I trying to do a tally in my head. I'm like,
did I
wait
pick
a minute.
both? I didn't pick both, did I? No,
Good,
I
how
didn't
are
pick
you?
both.
You did. You click the rainbow?
Oh,
And you
I
click
was
the
just
little-
reacting to the image that I wanted you to go with. So I reacted a bunch of times. Yeah, I like the gray personally. I think everybody else does as well. Besides, who's that? Catherine, the OG.
Stir, I got a plan. I got a plan C for you. Make him a blue box.
I don't like blue.
Blue's a
Yeah,
power
well,
color.
screw you then.
Not really.
I got blue as my volume, but blue clashes too much with the red and the green.
What's a yellow look like? And you
I
got
don't
red,
know.
yellow, green.
Let's try yellow.
Are we Roy G. Biving it up on stuff?
it takes me 10 minutes to do TA with the colors because of the way TOS has it set up, or it takes me 2 minutes to knock out TA if I don't have colors. And now that I know how to make the boxes transparent, I can just save one as default and really save a lot of time. But it's not going to look as pretty. Yellow looks a little weird, not gonna lie. Oops. Things are whippy today.
I want to see QQQ break that lit, break the weekly hedge, and then play it long. Spy's above weekly hedge. Spy's also pushing above that other zone we had near 551. So I want to see if the Qs can break and hold that 461 as support, and then look to maybe play it long to that next zone of resistance up around 464.
Yellow's too much, Corey. Yellow is ugly. You selected like the worst color. Dude.
Sit back, be patient. That's all you can do right now. Sit back, be patient.